Hello, welcome to this section. You are attending the presentation on business acumen. The presentation will start at 10:10, so stay tuned. Hello, everyone. Our section will begin soon. The presentation topic is on business acumen. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this section. You are attending the presentation on business acumen. The presentation will start soon, so stay tuned. Can you all hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Oh, great. So, Juan, if you are ready, I will begin the introduction.
I'm ready when you are.
Okay, great. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Kaseng. Hello, I'm the moderator of this section. It is my pleasure to welcome you here this morning. I hope you enjoyed your breakfast. Thank you for joining us today for this special presentation on business acumen, a very important personal attribute for solving problems at work. So let's begin. Okay, at this time, I would like to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Juan Saldivar. Juan is an experienced, dynamic, innovative, and award-winning senior project manager with over 17 years of public and private sector experience managing large and complex enterprise projects. His IT experience includes the foreign industry, insurance, financial services, workplace safety and health, government, automotive, and consumer goods. Juan currently helps Manitoba-based organizations maximize their investments in technology and business process as a senior consultant at Paradigm Consulting Group. Juan is an active board member of the Project Management Institute Manitoba chapter and is currently serving as president and chair of the board. He is a certified PMP and registered professional engineer, practicing engineer. He has earned multiple industry certifications, including Prince2, ITIL, MSP, Process Change Management, Rig Problem Solving, Discipline Agile Scrum Master, and Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt. So everyone, please join me in welcoming Juan. You can give a thumbs up and clap hands in the live chat. Do you know you can actually earn points by participating in the live chat? We will also have a question and answer sections after the presentation by using the chat. So now, without further ado, allow me to present our guest speaker, Mr. Juan Saldivar.
Thanks, Kasang, for the nice and warm welcome. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Excellent. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining this session. My name is Juan Saldivar, and I'll do a formal introduction as part of the presentation here. But I want you all to please have your phones ready. We're going to do a couple of interactive polls just to get a sense of the audience here. We'll do a couple of those. Also, please enter any questions into the chat. We'll target to leave about 5 minutes or 10 minutes at the end, just to try to tackle as many questions as we can at the end of the session.
Excellent.
So Kasang will bring up the slide deck for us to walk through, and basically I want to take you through a journey today, a journey on business acumen, and that might sound a little bit boring from the surface, but I do want to make a strong case for what business acumen is and how it can actually help you in your professional careers, specifically for you that are in the or that want to be in the IT industry, right? So I want to talk about how it helped me in my professional career, how I see it from my eyes, from my perspectives, and I want to take you through that journey on how it can help you. So first, let's talk about why you're here, and hopefully you're here for the right reasons and hoping to learn and be inspired, and that's what we all are here. So today, as I mentioned, I want to talk about business acumen. Because business acumen, to me, it's an underrated yet powerful attribute to be successful in a career in information technology. And I'm going to make a case for it. When you think about business and technology, you might think of it of two separate things, right? But in reality, as you might see from the world we live in today, business and technology are closely embedded. So having a strong business acumen is going to really supercharge your career in information technology. It's going to give you that ability to solve problems, to see complexity, and to address risk, and to really leverage all the knowledge and skills that you already have and put them into really practical uses. So first, before we get started, let's do a little bit of a poll. So bring up your phones again. And I want you to use your camera to scan that QR code there, and that's going to bring up a survey on your phone here. So what we're going to do right now, and we're going to do this throughout the presentation. So please have your phones ready, and when you open the QR code, it's going to be the same browser window. So just leave it open. And the first question I want you to answer is to become successful as a professional in IT, I need one of the following 5. And I want you to rank from 1 to 5, 1 being the highest, the following: high quality education, training and knowledge, extensive industry experience, strong business acumen, superior leadership and people skills, and a strong work ethic and integrity. I want to see where those 5 attributes fall within your priorities. And Kasang is going to bring the results just to see where we're at. And what we're doing here is just basically taking the temperature of the room, right? Just trying to understand where business acumen falls. And as of right now, it's sort of falling right in the middle. So above that, we have a strong work ethic and integrity. and a high quality education, training, and knowledge, which that's basically why you're attending Red River College, right? To get that really high quality education and put it into good use in the information technology field. So that's good. Just curious to see what that's going to end up being at the end of the presentation. But this is just food for thought for you, just to see what the audience thinks about where business acumen is going to fall. Excellent. That's very interesting. So we'll go back to the slide deck there, Kasang. Thank you very much. So keep your phones handy. I'll do a couple of these throughout the presentation. So now we know where organizational acumen or business acumen falls in that category. So now let's talk about what this session is. So like I mentioned, we're going to talk about business acumen, but this is really my personal view on business acumen. I'm not here to give you a lecture and give you literature on business acumen. That's going to end up being extremely boring, and I'm not here to bore you. I'm here to inspire you. So I'm gonna give you my personal perspective on how you can develop your business acumen, what it did for me, and what it can do for you. And this is really food for thought. This is for you to take away and think about it, and hopefully to apply it later on in when you start working in the information technology field. This is for you to make your own conclusions and to carve your own path, so that hopefully some of these ideas will stick with you. Some of them might not, but for the ones that stick, hopefully you can put them into practice and they will help you through your career. And we'll also talk about what this session is not. Kasang, if you want to go to the next slide. What this session is not is, like I said, is not literature definition of business acumen. If you Google business acumen, you're going to find dozens and dozens of different definitions. I'm not here to be your Google search. I'm just here to give you my personal perspective. I'm also not giving you a prescriptive methodology or a recipe book on how you develop your business acumen. That's really going to be up to you and the circumstances you're going to get yourself into. And there's really no wrong or right here. If you disagree with me or you agree with me, it's really going to come down to perspectives, right? And I'm just here to give you mine, and you can make it whatever you want to make it, and hopefully it'll help you in your career. So now let's set the context a little bit of who I am and what does it matter I'm telling you all this. So as Kasang mentioned, I'm a senior consultant. My experience is mostly project-based. I worked mostly as a project manager, but I've also provided some business advisory, business analysis, and consulting through that experience as well. I have 17 years in multiple industries, so mostly government, insurance, financial services based. But I also have other experiences in automotive and consumer goods as well. So they all give me different perspectives when it comes to business acumen, and that's why I'm telling you this. So when they ask me what do I do for a living, I usually say that I solve problems by bridging technology and business. So that's where I do best. I'm sort of in the middle because I really understand business and I understand technology, so that I can solve problems using technology. So that's where business acumen really comes into play, right? Because it's gonna be that glue between solving business problems and achieving business outcomes through important tools like technology. I also have an engineering background, and that's going to be important when we talk about system thinking. So I'm a very analytical, data-driven, and systematic thinker. So you'll see through the presentation, and we'll address it as part of some of the points that I'm making in regards to system thinking. As Kasang also mentioned, I also have plenty of industry experience there. So those are just my SCAR ones, basically saying that I've gone through different standards and methodologies. I've learned from all those, and I apply them in different ways in my day-to-day life. And that's what I want you to do as well when you get out of here, so that you use all that knowledge and the industry experience and certification standards, best practices, and put them to good use when you go back to your employers and start working in your professional careers. So I want you to do a couple things after the presentation, and one is to find me on LinkedIn. My link is right there. It's also on my Hubilo profile, and follow me if you're interested about this topic, because it's good to have those discussions afterwards. And also I want you to follow my work. So I'm a senior consultant with Paradigm Consulting. I'm very proud of working at Paradigm Consulting, excellent organization. And if you're interested in solving problems and helping clients, you should definitely take a look at Paradigm Consulting. There's going to be some Paradigm Consulting experts at the speed networking session. So please approach them if you're interested in Paradigm Consulting. We're always looking for talented individuals that are looking to supercharge their careers and help clients. So please also follow Paradigm on LinkedIn. You'll find them as Paradigm Consulting Group. And lastly, also follow PMI Manitoba. It's my volunteer work. So that's what I do after the 9 to 5 work. And I'm very proud of being a project management and helping our community continue to develop project management practices, as well as helping those are seeking accreditation and certifications through PMI, such as the Project Management Professional, or PMP. Excellent. So now that I've talked about me, let's get right into the topic. So you understand why you're here now. Now let's talk about what the heck is business acumen. So business acumen, we'll talk about what it is. Like I said, this is just my personal definition, and we'll talk about how it can help you down your professional careers. So now let's take a quick look at my definition. And again, there's no right or wrong here. This is just my personal perspective and how I like to define it. So to me, business acumen, it's a key personal attribute that can help you solve problems and improve business outcomes in your organization. It is not really knowledge. It is not really a skill. To me, it's just sort of the glue that puts everything together between your knowledge, your skill, your ability to assess risk, your ability to navigate complexity, and as well as your personal soft skills, and puts it all together in your ability to solve problems in your organization. So it's a bit of an abstract attribute, right? Meaning that me and Kasang do not have the same business acumen. If we put the both of us on the same job with the same manager, we'll develop different business acumens because it's really a matter of perspective, how we see the world, right, through our own eyes, and our learning processes, which is how our brains work, right, our internal mechanisms for learning. It is really difficult to quantify or qualify. There's no such thing as having more or less business acumen. It's just different, right? It's just manifests differently in each of the individual, and you can put it to use in different ways. And like I said, it's unique and personal, right? It's based on personal experience, on your circumstances as well. Because if you work in certain industries or certain fields or in a certain job, that's going to give you different perspectives, right? And it's how you see the world through those perspectives that are going to change your business acumen. So it doesn't matter if you have it or how much you have of it, but how you use it, right? You can be a person with extreme business acumen, but if you don't put it to good use, it doesn't really matter, right? It's only valuable. It's only add value when it's being used. So I'm gonna kind of walk you through a couple of strategies on how it can help you. And the last key point there is that the process of gaining the business acumen is actually more important than actually having it, right? Because in the process, that's where we have the learning engine, right? Once you kickstart that learning engine, is going to supercharge your business acumen, and when you put that business acumen to good use, that's where you're going to see the benefits of it. So now that's just my personal definition. So now I'm going to talk a little about how can it help you in your careers. So there's really four key items that we're going to talk about through the presentation. The first one is that business acumen is going to help you navigate complexity and ambiguity, right? Organizations are nothing more than complex blobs of ambiguity. So I'm gonna discuss how business acumen can help you arrange some of that ambiguity and complexity, and help you manage risks within the organization. It's also going to help you identify what tools and knowledge are at your disposal, and when and how to use them. There's a lot of knowledge out there. There's books. You can read books. You can do everything you want, right? But how you apply that knowledge is really key on being successful. So business acumen is really going to narrow your focus and put that knowledge into good use. It's also going to help you develop skills and abilities that you didn't know you have, or you have, but you're not putting them to good use. So business acumen is also going to help you develop those and put them into good use. And finally, business acumen is also going to make you. It's going to define who you are as a professional. It's going to give you these abilities. Going to give you the. Going to help you apply knowledge where it fits. So we'll talk about how that's going to define you as a professional. So now let's do another survey. So bring up your phones again, and you can just refresh your browser, or you can scan the code again if you want. And what we're going to do here is that, based on what I've told you about business acumen, I'd like you to rate my definition of business acumen from 1 to 5. 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. So go into your application and rate it from 1 to 5. I just want to see if you agree or disagree with me. And Kasang is going to bring the poll results in a few seconds here, just to see where everyone stands. Excellent. So I see 69% or is going down as we go through it, but that's okay. I see a lot of 4s and 5s, which is great. So this is just reassurance for me to tell me that I'm not crazy, that what I'm telling you is resonating with you, and that's awesome. That's really what I wanted, right? If I didn't want to lose you at this point of the presentation, so I just wanted to do a pulse check here, and this is great news. Fantastic. Thanks, Kasang. So I think we can go back to the slide deck now. Excellent. So we talked about what business acumen now. So now on our roadmap, we're going to tackle the 4 things that I said they can help you. Business acumen is going to help you with. So let's tackle the first one, which is navigating complexity and uncertainty. So what do you guys feel when you hear about complexity, uncertainty, or ambiguity? I bet you all get the chills, right? No one likes these words. It makes me nervous. I don't want to deal with any complexity or ambiguity, risks, yuck, right? It's I want things to be easy and plain and happy. But reality is that the world is complex and difficult and uncertain and ambiguous. So this is where business acumen really comes into play, right? So it's going to help you with have 2 different reasons why it's going to help you. So first, let's tackle complexity, and that is that business acumen is really going to help you understand the world from the whole picture, right? It's going to give you that big picture thinking through system thinking. So Kasang, if we go to the next slide, thank you. So how does business acumen help you get that system thinking, right? First, let's talk about what systems are, because I might lose you here a little bit. But systems, when I talk about systems, I'm not talking about computer systems. I'm not talking even about like things like healthcare systems necessarily, right? But systems are everywhere. They're part of life, right? They're inside you, right? Inside you have musculoskeletal systems, cardiovascular systems. They're in your house, right? You have electrical systems, water supply systems, and so on. And they're everywhere in the world. Organizations are complex systems, right? So once you acknowledge that the idea that organizations are nothing more than parts and interactions, right? It sort of helps you understand the world from a different perspective. So organizations are nothing more than complex systems with crazy, wicked problems. right? So your job as a professional is to try to help them tame those problems and get the best outcomes out of situations. So systems, like I said, is a set of parts that have a common objective, right? But it's also more than just the sum of its parts. When several parts, like an organization, is working together, and there's many interactions between different parts of the system, it creates this synergy, right? So it's just more than the sum of its parts. It's creating synergy, and it's creating objectives and outcomes. So when you start understanding those parts and interactions and start seeing them on your day-to-day job, you'll start seeing things like inputs, throughputs, which is where the information gets processed, and outputs, which is what feeds another part of the system, right? So once you start seeing the world in inputs, throughputs, and outputs, then your business acumen is gonna develop in different ways, right? You're gonna start seeing things like causality, which is the cost-effective relationships in the system. They're everywhere, right? When you just look at what you do for a living, or what part of your organization is doing, there's going to be different things that are causing problems or that are creating effects downstream, right? So if you look at those cost-effective relationships, it could be one factor or multiple factor affecting systems, right? And you also start seeing those feedback loops, because as information gets processed, right, that's information that has a feedback loop right back into the part or right back into the subsystem, right? So sometimes you might not see them because there's a delay, but those are creating reinforcing cycles in the system as well, right? So once you start identifying those as well, you'll understand your organization in a whole new different way. So what system thinking it was really doing here is that it's going to help you find common patterns and draw a big picture in your organization, right? Wherever you go in your organization, they're all going to have the same things, right? They're all going to have departments with different objectives. They're all going to have finance, accounting, human resources. They're going to all have different resources, whether it's people, money, assets. They all have objectives, vision, mission, values. They're all basically operate the same, right? So once you go from organization to organization and find those common patterns, that's going to really turbocharge your business acumen, because it is going to improve your learning and is going to help you see the world systematically. So what can you do today just to start your journey on thinking systematically? So learn about systems. There's a lot of information out there. You can Google system design, system modeling. Design thinking is also a subset of system thinking. So learn about how systems operate and then identify all those systems in your life, right? Once you identify what systems exist in your life and your day-to-day, then you'll start thinking more systematically, which is going to help you to identify cause and effects everywhere you go, right? And not only in your life, but in your as a professional in your day-to-day job. And that's also going to help you improve the system, right? Because it's going to really find those bottlenecks. It's going to help you find those things that are creating negative feedback loops, for example, and trying to fix those and see what the impact is to the overall system. And the ultimate goal here is that once you have really developed business acumen, is really going to manifest on the way you simplify a complex system. So if you can explain a complex system to a 5-year-old, that really means that you have a really good developed system thinking and business acumen, right? Because you really understand the situation and you can simplify it and break it down. So that's the first point I wanted to make on that. So that sort of addresses complexity. So now let's talk about risk and uncertainty. So risk and uncertainty, like I said, these are yuck words, right? No one likes risk and uncertainty. It makes everyone nervous, especially those that are risk averse, right? But the reality is that risk is good. It's just part of life. Today, just waking up, I took a dozen of risks. I'm taking a risk right now presenting to you, because if I suck at this presentation, my what you think about me is going to change, right? So to me, that risk is worth if some of you take some of this information away and it's actually useful to you in your professional life. So when you think of risk as a good thing, because business acumen is going to help you to tame the fear of the unknown, right? It's going to help you deal with that ambiguity in a better way, because there's really nothing you can do except manage that ambiguity. Having a developed business acumen is going to help you identify risks, right? Sometimes there are risks that you already experienced. Sometimes there are risks that you're already finding a pattern. You know where things are going, and you can identify it early and then do something about it, right? The thing about risk is that you have to plan for them and you have to mitigate them and manage them, right? That's successful to any project, successful to any IT operations, managing risks. You got to figure out what to do with those risks, whether you avoid them, whether if you cannot avoid them, then you have to find ways to mitigate them. If you cannot mitigate them, then you just have to find contingency plans for them, right? It's all about the planning process and what you do with those risks. So what can you do starting today? Well, the first thing is learning to live with uncertainty. Like I said, it's just everywhere. There's nothing you can do about it. So learn to live with it and use business acumen to help you identify and manage risks. Once you do that, then you know what to do with those risks. You can either avoid them, mitigate them, create contingency for them, but at least you'll have the toolkits. You'll have options at your disposal that you can use to manage those risks, right? So that's how business acumen is gonna help you in identifying those risks and manage them, because this is basically just part of life. All right, Kansang, we'll go to the next slide. So we talked about complexity and uncertainty. Now the next thing business acumen is really going to help you with is putting good tools and good knowledge to good use. So that's the next subtopic here that we're going to dig into, right? Because business acumen is really going to help you from the menu of knowledge and tools that you already have. It's going to help you select which ones are the best ones to use in what circumstances, right? So it's going to help you to choose how and when to apply them. So I want to give you 5 key pointers here. That's going to help you select going to help you develop that knowledge and use business acumen to apply it accordingly to the best circumstances. So the first one is seeking knowledge. So seek knowledge continuously. So bad news, knowledge depreciates with time, right? So what you're learning today, 6 months, 5 years down the road, is not going to worth as much as it is right now, right? So you really have to be hungry for knowledge, and you have to seek it continuously. Do not wait for knowledge to come find you. Do not wait for people to throw books or manuals at your face. You just have to go out there and find it. Because unfortunately, when you go into organizations, only a very small fraction of that knowledge is going to be documented. And it's going to be in manuals, training procedures, and so on. Only very few of it is going to be documented. Some of it is ambiguous or wrong or is out of date, right? So documented information is going to be obviously the circumstances where it's going to be a really reliable source of information. But when we're dealing with complex and ambiguous organizations, a lot of that information is embedded in either people, in either processes, or even assets like technology, right? So you're going to have to find ways to extract that information. And the best way to do that is to extract it from people that know the processes best, right? That know the experts on the subject, right? So always seek information from them, extract it, draw it out. And when I say draw it out, is actually draw it out on the whiteboard. We already talked about systems, right? So draw the system, see how it works, draw a flow chart, and seek feedback from those subject matter experts, right? Because that's really how you're gonna be extracting that knowledge and learning from that knowledge to use it in your day-to-day life. So now let's talk about the next point here, which is don't go at it alone. And the reality is that you do not want to be a lone wolf when it comes to seeking knowledge and learning, right? Because you're not going to get much out of it. You're going to develop that business acumen by going at it alone. You have to surround yourselves with smart people. And like they said, you definitely want to be the dumbest people in the room. If you want to surround yourself with people that are smarter, that's where you're gonna be learning, and that's what you want to do if you want to supercharge your business acumen, right? So learn from others. They're your best source of knowledge to develop your business acumen. So this is 3 ways you need to learn, right? And learn from others. So there's the top, going to the top, going to your peers, and going to those that do not have as much knowledge than you, right? You have to, at the top, you have to seek for mentors or role models for which you want to extract that knowledge, and you want to understand how to use their business acumen, right, to solve problems and to go their way in the organizations. You also want to collaborate with those that are at your peer level. Like I said, people see the world from different perspectives, right? So you want to see the world from their perspective as well, and that's really going to help you learn and grow as a professional. And also, you want to pass your knowledge to others, right? So those are not they're not as developed as you. You want to share that knowledge, and through that sharing process as well, I'll guarantee you that you also be learning as well from those people. So the best way to do not go at it alone is to earn trust, right, from others, especially those smart people that you want to tag yourself along. You want to be you must be dependable and consistent in your work, because then that's going to make others want to hang out with you. And once smart people want to hang out with you, your business acumen is going to go through the roof, right? You're going to learn so much. And learn things that you would never learn otherwise. So never go at it alone. This is not a one-person job, but you will definitely want to surround yourself with smart people. Next slide, Kasang, please.
Okay. Juan, sorry to interrupt. We have like 10 more minutes for the presentation.
Okay, we'll go. We'll tackle the next few slides quickly.
Excellent.
Learning from failure. And this is really to understand that failure is not a bad thing, right? Society tells you that failing is bad, but in organizations, failing is actually good, right? As long as we fail fast, but we also learn faster, right? So we want to have mechanisms in place where it's okay to fail, but you want to fail in a controlled environment where you can acknowledge that you failed, you can correct it, you can adjust, pivot, and then move on, right? So this is basically your typical continuous improvement loop, where you want to experiment, right, through and find those failure points. You want to plan, do, check, act. You want to experiment, find out if it's yielding good results or not. You want to adjust and move on, right? And also take accountability for your failures. There's no finger pointing here. You gotta make sure that take ownership of those failures, and that's really not only shows integrity, but it also shows a commitment to improve. Next slide, Kasang, please. Also, seeking diversity is going to help you develop your business acumen, right? When you go into the job, it's what I recommend is to step outside your silo. You're going to be given a job in a particular area and with a particular set of job duties, right? And my advice to you is do not limit yourself. Obviously, there's going to be circumstances where you do not have authority, or you might not want to go certain limits, but always look for diversity in your work life. You have to understand how your client and supplier's business works, right? So look at your value chain, look how you fit in the system, and you understand how that part before you, which is your supplier's business works, so that you can be more cost effective in your own process, as well as your customer on the other end, right? To understand their needs and how their business works, so that you can better understand and do your job more efficiently. Key business management knowledge is also key. As an IT professional, sometimes we don't think about these, but these are things that you should learn, at least the basic concepts, just because you'll be interacting with these folks through your career, right? Finance, accounting, human resources. Understand how they operate so that you can understand them better and have a better capability to solve their problems. Also, associate with people of diverse backgrounds. So I'm not talking about different ethnicities or cultural backgrounds. However, that's also an incredible way to find diversity in your work. But I'm talking about people that have been in different life experiences, different industries, different work duties, and so on. You'll want to seek all those different perspectives and associate with those people to seek diversity in your day-to-day work. The next one is apply knowledge where it fits. Like I said, there's a lot of knowledge out. We live in the information era, right? There's tons of knowledge. But business acumen is really gonna help you find out what information is appropriate and apply it where it's fit for purpose, right? Where it's gonna help you meet your goals. Because if it's not helping you meet your goals, it just becomes basically a liability. It becomes debt. And it's something that you have to carry, right? A big overhead to carry. So you want to avoid being prescriptive, and instead you want to apply knowledge and tailor it where it fits, because you want to seek those outcomes, right? You want to make sure that as you're applying knowledge, that's going to add value. Is going to add value to the process. Is going to add value to the organization. Thanks, Kasang. So we talked about how it's going to help you with tools and knowledge. And the next set of slides is how it's going to help you develop skills and abilities. And when I'm talking about skills and abilities, are really skills and abilities that you may have or you may not know you have them, but are going to help you supercharge your career, right? And the first one is understand where you fit in the organization. Understand where your role is, where you fit in the big picture, and how you add value. So business acumen is really going to help you with that self-reflection to understand yourself, what your limits are, what your limits and authority is going to help you understand the rules of the game and how to play it, right? Because even in organizations, we're playing a role, we're playing a game, and we understand what the rules of the game are so that we can be successful. We also have to understand where we fit in the value stream, right? Is what I'm doing fitting in the organization's vision and mission, right? How am I adding value to the organization? Because if I'm not adding value, I should question that. Why am I not adding value? That's something that should be having a self-reflection on that, so that you understand where you fit and how you can contribute to the organization. We'll go to the next slide, Kasang. And the next thing is that business acumen is also going to help you leverage your common sense and expert judgment. So these are two tools that you think everyone should have, but when you go to organizations, sometimes you question whether people have them or not, right? So these are obviously very powerful, and there's really no really good way to learn having common sense and expert judgment. These will come with time and experience. And yes, you will make mistakes along the way, and that's fine, as long as you're learning, like we talked about, right, through that learning mechanism. And trust your gut, trust your instinct, so that when it's time to say something where you feel something is not right, where you feel like things are going the wrong direction, it's time to speak up, right? Sometimes you'll run into circumstances where you've seen this movie before, right? You've seen this pattern before, and you don't want it to repeat itself again. So that's where your expert judgment and common sense are going to be key tools that, in combination with your business acumen, is going to help you navigate difficult situations, right? So always ask why, right? Why is a very powerful question. You've probably seen that TED speech from Simon Sinek, the power of why. If you haven't, I recommend you do that. But yeah, why is a very powerful question, and it's going to help you develop not only your business acumen, but these two tools that I'm talking about. This is your common sense and expert judgment. Thanks, Kasang. So as we get into our last reason why business acumen is going to help you, it's basically defining you, right? Business acumen, which you're going to develop throughout your career, is going to help you make you. Is going to be unique to you, and is going to be built based on your experiences and perspective. So don't try to be someone else you're not, right? Be proud of who you are and what you've been through. Understand what your leadership styles are and how you operate on your day-to-day work, and be proud of that, right? Use business acumen to your advantage. Lead by example, and carve your own path. There's really no one's going to carve a path for you, right? It's really up to you to determine where you want to go in your career. And business acumen is just another great tool, and is going to glue everything together that you already have to put it into good use. Because here in your career, you're your best advocate, right? No one's going to advocate for you. So you have to become your best advocate. You have to sell yourself to your boss. You have to sell yourself to your organization. You can prove what you can do. You can prove that you can stretch yourself, right? You can step outside the bounds of your job duties, of your limits, and you can add value to the organization. You just have to prove yourself and prove others that you can do it and earn trust through the process. So that's what business acumen is really going to become a key attribute, personal attribute on achieving those goals. So hopefully this is useful information to you. So I want to thank everyone for your time and listening to me and my perspectives on business acumen and how I can feel it can help you through your professional careers. And we're going to do one last survey here. So bring back your phones. I want you to scan that QR code, and we're going to bring up the last survey. And what I'm asking you here to do is to enter a keyword or multiple keywords on what you can take away today. What are the key takeaways that you have for you? What words resonated with you? And I want to see where everyone's mind's at after this conversation. And while you do that, I want to thank you for your time, and a reminder to follow me on LinkedIn, as well as follow Paradigm Consulting and PMI Manitoba on LinkedIn as well. So Kasang is going to bring the results. So please go into the survey and enter your key takeaways. I want to see where everyone's takeaways are here. So we'll just give folks another few seconds.
Yes, you can use your phone to scan the QR code and then type your key takeaways.
Excellent. So these are all great takeaways. They keep coming.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, left with uncertainty, take risks, which is good.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, they like your idea about business.
So hopefully, there's good takeaways for you to take. And I think we still have a couple minutes to address some questions, Kasang. You know if there's any?
Yes, thank you so much. We have already some questions already in the chat. So let me ask the first question from Princy. She would like to know your recommendation on what some of the certifications we should carve our path in the IT domain as a business technology analyst.
That's a fantastic question, and the answer is it depends. It depends where you want to what path you want to carve for yourself, right? There's many ways to start. You have to really explore where your key attributes and key qualifications are, and how do you want to put them into practice, right? So it depends if you want to be more of an analyst role or a project manager role. But it's really the roadmap that you're gonna set for yourself, right? So identify what that roadmap is, and then identify where the best industry certifications that fit in that roadmap, right? For me, it was really getting to the project management field because I consider myself very good at getting stuff done and leading people. I love leading a team. So for me, project management was a place to be. And obviously, the benchmark, the gold standard is the project management professional PMI certification. But there's also others that I've expanded to as well. There's a Prince 2 certification. And now Agile is also another thing that's become very popular over the last 10 years. So there's a lot of Agile certifications. You just got to do a little bit of research on which ones are the ones that best fit what you're looking for and is going to fit your career lifestyle.
Great. And then we have another question from Mandeep. He would like to ask, have you ever worked in other industry? So what is the common challenge that you face across different industry? How did you tackle them?
In different industries, yeah. So different industries obviously they have different business. They run different businesses, right? But what you'll find is that they'll have very common problems, right? Common problems. Problems are going to be related to people, related to processes, related to technology, right? So once you find those common patterns, then it doesn't matter what industry you're in, it's all going to be transferable, right? So if you have the same set of skills to deal with problems, to identify problems, to manage risk, to deal with uncertainty, those are all tools that you can apply no matter what industry you're in.
That's really great. And thank you so much, Juan. I think we have a lot learned from here. And then, but unfortunately, the time is almost done. So welcome. So thank you for all of you here. And then once again, thank you, Juan, for your meeting time in this business schedules. And then